Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lowdown, your source for music, arts, and entertainment from the Akron area and beyond. I'm your host, Sophia Stokes, and we've got a lot of great content for you guys today. We've got a range from glass-blown art to famous authors to that local music you love. So let's get into it. This episode of Lowdown starts now. So first up, we've got to look at an alternative rock band that's all the way from New Jersey. The Stolen are on a fall tour and played at Mahal's up in Lakewood. The band has opened up for pop artist Jake Miller in the past and have grown since then. They write songs in order to try to really connect with their fans and audience. Just be careful, because when you hear the Stolen's music, they might steal your heart too. Let your attention be stolen by the Stolen.
I'm Mike.
I'm Dom.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Rob.
And we're an alternative rock band from New Jersey called The Stolen.
So we tour every season of the year. We're playing with a ton of bands across the whole country. So it's just kind of our fall 2018 tour.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to get back out and see everybody, who supports us, shows us love, and it's, we're meeting new people along the way as well as seeing, fans who've been there for a while. We've been playing at Mahal's for, a little bit now. Last time we were here, filming the video, it was just very memorable for us. We had a lot of fans here, and it was just super cool to film. So it's sitting here in this room actually where we filmed it is just looking around. It's this was so much fun.
We actually shot it right here.
Yeah, this was our spot. Everybody who wanted to be in the video, and we just we all sat down with us and our management and stuff like that.
It wasn't we want to pick you, and you first to come in, we kind of
It was really a time we really got to sit down, kind of hang out, and really get to know people a little better. I feel like for us, it's always from the very beginning, it's just a specific, really awesome type of breed where people really want to invest their time and everything into us, and they always go the extra mile. And I'm just speaking as a whole for really everyone who supports us.
We emphasize hey, let's get out there and let's talk to everybody. Let's make a personal connection rather than just sitting in a room, going out there playing. Oh hey, thanks everyone who came, even if it's from 6 hours away, whatever. I think it's let's go out there and talk to everybody individually and really get to know them. And I think that's one thing that again we pride ourselves on, and we know that we have a good relationship with our fans because of that.
We're working on a whole new record right now, and we've just been kind of releasing singles off of it. We're a band that want to write songs not just to write, we love a good hook, we love a good catchy song, but beyond that, just we feel like there's worlds in a time where you just need music that people really can feel, really can understand, and there's things that are uncomfortable that people maybe aren't talking about. I think for us, that's what's super important, just to talk about those things. In today, it's very easy for everyone to hide their feelings behind a phone, behind anything, but there's times where I kind of just, don't want to go out, or I don't want to do whatever, and that's okay, and it's being self-aware. And I think that today, more and more, we're trying to become what we think we are on the internet instead of being self-aware to who we really are. And I think that's what Stuck's about. I think that people have to be able to accept who they are and just kind of appreciate and realize that it's okay to be that way. So, Rooftop is another song that is just super important to all of us. I came up with the idea one night on my back porch of my house, and I remember calling Dom up. It was 9, 10 at night. I was like, dude, come over, I got this idea. It sounded completely different at the time. And this is actually the night Anthony Bourdain died, and it was really weird. That entire week there was 3 different celebrities who passed away, and I was sad, I was frustrated, and kind of continuing on the idea of Stuck. Rooftop, the whole meaning about it is just that maybe not everyone's fine, and just kind of look out for each other as people, and maybe just put things down for a second, look around you, and maybe just have to talk to someone and just really get to know them, get to know what they're about, and let people know that we're all here for each other. And after the song was written, I kind of had this idea of, in the 80s, there was We Are the World, which had, U2 and Sting and all these people who kind of came together for a cause. And I was talking to our manager, Matt, about it. I was like, dude, I really want to have someone on this. And he's like, think of someone who you guys are friends with. Why don't you do it with friends, not just a random musician? So I shot Jake a text. I was like, hey, dude, what do you think of this song? He was all about it. He's such a hard worker, and he got it right back instantly. Loaded it up, sounded absolutely amazing, and got the song wrapped up that night, and then got it all sent over to the label, and
Rest is history.
yeah.
I think it's just so important to not only hustle and really just always be working, but really make connections with the people who support you, whether that's the people who print your merch, fans obviously who come out to the shows and promoters.
And I think understanding where you are is super important because so many people, like, all of a sudden you play a really good show, you're getting bigger on Instagram, whatever it is, like that side of things, all of a sudden it's so easy to get lost. Like, oh, we're this, we're that, when in reality, you're something totally
You
different.
should always be working just as hard.
Yeah,
Exactly.
At the end of the day, just make music and do things that make you happy.
Next up, we got a chance to talk with Adam Bonomo, who knows a lot about what we do here on Lowdown. He's an Akron alumni who hosts local talent in his show Alternative Attic. Alternative Attic hosted its second showcase this year with even more great music than the last. Let's check out what Adam does to prepare for the big night.
Sometimes you see just a magical performance in someone's basement, and no one outside of that basement ever even knew it happened. And I thought that was ridiculous, so I tried to give these people an opportunity for them. My name is Adam Bonomo. I am the creator of Alternative Attic. Alternative Attic is a music platform that I have created for local musicians in the Northeast Ohio area. I would have to say the reason that I started the Alternative Attic was honestly whenever I first started going to shows in the Akron DIY community, I was working on Lowdown, and I loved filming the bands. I loved just the sense of how genuinely grateful that those people were that I made that product for them. And I wanted to do something that involved the fun of going to shows, and honestly, it also, at that point, a lot of those people became my friends. So it was honestly just a way for me to give back to the community that had just helped me out like for years now. I had a show here. I had a show at a parking deck at the Spicer parking deck. I actually really liked the idea of going and covering the event because I felt like it was like kind of what I was trying to do, in the way of just showing that like music can exist anywhere, and just kind of giving those places like a platform to find an audience. I had nothing but like overwhelmingly positive hey, thank you for doing that. That was really nice. So I will just continue keep doing it. It's I really feel like there aren't going to be people that are really as genuinely appreciative as these people for this type of work, because whenever you're not on a label, getting a video out is very hard. It was nice to just see the community come out and support like they did, because that was a lot of people that performed theirs first time. I actually think that was everyone who performed theirs first time performing there, and all of them said that they thought it was great. It's just awesome. It was really sweet.
Well, unlike the Alternative Attic and the Alternative Band, after the break we'll have an alternative subject. You don't want to miss it. Lowdown will be right back.
You're watching ZTV.
Welcome back, everyone. Up next, we are featuring a unique type of art here on Lowdown. Jack Pine is a glassblower, which, you guessed it, he makes glass-blown art. He had an exhibit at Dawn Jump Studios and even showed off a glass-blowing demonstration to other artists. We had the opportunity to interview him. This guy ought to blow your mind.
I'm Jack Pine, and I'm a glass blowing artist, and I make my own work. I have my own studio down in the Hocking Hills of southern Ohio now, and I'm well known for my glass pumpkins, probably more so than anything, but I also do a wide variety of other pieces, which is pretty exciting to do now. And yeah, I've been at it for about 150 years. Feels like it. I didn't know I was going to get into glass until actually after college. I decided to move to Seattle. One of the first places I worked at was just a little deli, and started making a little bit of money. And one of the guys that used to come in all the time, we used to chat it up all the time, but he had a friend that owned a glass studio. This place was called Ornamental Blown Glass. So it was a production glass studio. So they made Christmas ornament, and they made these little oil lamps, and they shipped them out to galleries everywhere. He set me up with an interview, and when I walked in, I just was blown away. It's like seeing all these people working with this molten lava, glass, and fire, and the music, and the energy that was there, and I was just totally mesmerized. And I just kind of knew then that was what I wanted to do. Once I interviewed for them, I kind of told them, I said, oh, I know how to blow glass. I didn't know how to blow glass at all. But they's like, you're hungry, you know, we could tell you love it, we'll train you. And that place ended up folding due to their whatever reasons. So I was kind of distraught, and I wanted to start taking control of my own situation. So at that point in time, I decided to make my own thing happen. And it was kind of by luck that somebody came up to me and asked me if I could make him a pumpkin for a friend. And this was like 25 years ago. And at the time, we were doing this orange kind of iridizing mother of pearl on the glass. And I just put two and two together and came up with this orange pumpkin with a green stem. And it looked really cool. And in the process, I had moved on from that studio that was in Boulder, and then created my own studio with a couple partners. You can't take a break, you can't stop, you can't reverse. And I think that the process is almost as artistic as the finished work. It's kind of freezing someone's skills and their passion, if you will. So if you see work, and it's just like true for probably any artwork, honestly, it's a statement about passion. And the more passionate someone is about their work, the more others want to, have a piece of that.
Now, kind of like those glass pieces, we've got a little twist for you here on Lowdown. Next up, one of our members, Jordan, got to interview Sloane Crossley, a New York Times bestseller essayist. Her essays are based on relatable everyday life struggles, but she makes the stories hilarious. She came to the Student Union to do a reading of her newest collection of essays and opened up questions to the floor of everyday struggling college kids. Let's check it out.
My name is Sloane Crossley, and I am an essayist, novelist, journalist, a person, and my latest book is called Look Alive Out There. It's a collection of essays, so I've come here to read from it, to talk to the students about it, and to teach tomorrow. I originally wanted to be an archaeologist, and then I hit a wall at statistics, and I also realized sort of simultaneously that I really couldn't push English to a minor, and I really loved it, and I loved writing, and I wrote for my school newspaper, a little sort of humor column, which is not that funny in retrospect, but luckily this was before the internet, so no one can see it more. I have appeared on Gossip Girl. I wrote an essay in the new book about my appearance on Gossip Girl and my few lines that they gave me, one of which was grammatically incorrect, and I had to say it anyway. But it was great. Everybody was great. There will always be a healthy amount of self-doubt as a writer, but after you have a couple of sort of either external or internal successes under your belt, it does become a little bit easier to realize that you are a sort of instrument and that you can go through this world looking at things slightly different and it's worthwhile, which is something that everybody should think, but specifically writers. Yeah, I'm really excited to read from this book because I haven't in a few months, and it's like a weird child that you sort of start to miss. And at first you're like, great, I never have to see that, kid that again. And then you sort of miss changing the sheets. So that's disgusting. I'm very excited to read to people. Yes.
Wow, Crossley sure knows how to make people laugh. You can check out some of her books while we take a break. We'll be right back.
You're watching ZTV.
Alright everyone, welcome back. I know 2 minutes isn't enough time to check out a book, but it is enough time to listen to our last feature on this episode. Last but not least, Lowdown got the opportunity to interview Turk, a local Akron rapper. Let's take a look at the new music he's putting out now.
You good? Yeah. Alright. Well, ZTV Lowdown, thanks for coming to my crib. I appreciate the love and the support. Everybody, I'm Mo Turk. Everybody go out and stream and download and buy my album, How to Make Money Without Crying. Available everywhere, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Tidal. Especially get it on Tidal. You got support. Also my mixtape Magenta on YouTube, SoundCloud. Go listen to it, stream it. Go watch my music videos, please. It's just making me famous already, okay? In the summer, everyone is I'm Mo Turk. I'm out of Akron. I'm a rapper. I like to make my music about mostly how I feel, my life and myself, and love and generalities. Into my crib, we're about to go down to mom's basement, and you'll see why we call it that in a minute. This one. Logan would say something like, What are you all doing out there? I don't see anybody dancing. Nobody's dancing. I want all the sexy ladies out on the dance floor right now. Ah! Go ahead, just shake it like that. Come on. Go ahead, just move it like that. Come on. Go ahead, just bounce it like that. Come on. When you hear the thing, turn it up and lose it like Bambi. Bambi, 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 Bambi. Show me what you got. Bambi, 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 Bambi. Show me what you got. Thanks, DTV. I love you. I was on the Making Hip Hop subreddit, and I was on the collab call, and I saw him post about he was a producer and he was looking for rappers to get on his album. So I was like, okay, well I always need beats. So I messaged him and I sent him a link to one of my mixtapes.
Troll, what do you think best sums up the album?
Me later, he was like, yeah, I think you're really dope. We should collab sometime. I was like, okay, sure. At first he said, hey, I owe you a couple beats for helping me out and getting on my album. I was like, okay, sure. And those 2 beats ended up being Attack Mode and Equal from Magenta. And then he was like, yeah, I think you're really dope. We should collab on a full project. And I was like, yeah, sure. So he sent me a bunch of beats and it ended up being How to Make Money While Crying. Latest video that we did, Lights Out, probably, it was my favorite one so far. Only because we took a trip. I got this idea. My friend that's on the song, Crystal, she sings on the song. She's from New York. I actually had never met her. I had known her for like 5 years, and I never met her. And I was like, in the opening line of the song, I say New York in the summer. So I was like, why don't we just go to New York and shoot the whole video? So, and we were like, and I told Anthony about it. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So we drove up there and just took random clips around New York. Having friends who also were in the same type of thing as me, like the director of all of my videos, Anthony, also did theater, and he was also in ZTV, so he knows all of the performative stuff. The theater background helps in not kind of being afraid to go out and do something that isn't exactly what you would expect from, like, I don't know, like a modern music video, like a modern like rap video anyway, because like most videos nowadays you see just like a bunch of people in front of a camera like with like their friends and they're just like doing whatever. I would say for my song Bumblebee, I had a bumblebee costume and I went on campus and just ran around in it. And I think if I didn't do theater and if I didn't have that type of background, I probably would have been I wouldn't be like, no, that's not a good idea for this song. Bunch of people. Ever. My song Bumblebee, I know. I may go to Chipotle later, so might as well put the costume on now. We have the dictionary here with us.
Alright. So like it's not like a rhyming dictionary. No. So you're not gonna get rhymes out of it, but you are broadening your vocabulary.
Yes,
of
course.
You talk about real people in your life and
like to spare any expense. Might as well. I also think it's really cool to shout out my friends in songs, so if it ever like super blows up and they hear it and it's like, oh, that's me.
But the thing is, like, Turk doesn't have a Genius page or anything, because if he did, he'd have to personally curate it himself, and I feel like at that point, I mean, who's it for? It's just for you, so you can feel legit.
It's better that people interpret my songs the way they think versus me, because I know what I wrote the songs for. I'm really thinking that tonight will finally make the time, but when I call you, you just seem to let the phone ring. Voicemail box not set up, I call back and it's the same thing. Sorry, I'm not getting enough to get you all stimulated. Our conversations ain't enough to get you. Well, guys, only thing I have to say is lights out.
Turk's lyrics are good to listen to. Unfortunately, it's not good to listen to this. This episode of Lowdown is out of time. But don't worry, we'll be back soon with much more entertainment to look at. Make sure to give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and follow us on YouTube at ZTV Lowdown. Once again, I'm Sophia Stokes, and that's all for this episode on Lowdown.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.